landscape using ink. Put a little bit of ink in a container because we're going to be adding water to it, so make it a container this big or bigger. Starting with a border. We're starting with black. There is a walkway or a pathway. There is a fence. Everything's getting bigger and spaced further apart as we get closer towards the left. Okay, now I'm going to add water to my ink to lighten it up. Lighten up ink. Did I add too much water? We'll see. I might have added too much water. I want to go one value lighter than what I have. It doesn't really feel like too much water looking at on my test sheet here. Let me get a new test sheet actually, because I've already been testing on that test sheet. Add a little more water just to be sure that I went lighter. Okay, that feels lighter. If it's too light, after I let it dry for a minute, I might go over it again. It seems okay. It could probably stand to be gone over one more time. I don't want to go too light too fast. I think that's good. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water because I'm not gonna go over this next one twice, I don't think. So just a little bit of water. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it was already a little bit too light, so I'm just adding a little bit of water. And this one I went over twice. So compared to this with a little water, compared to this, should be fine. I can go right over the fence post. You can still see it. A couple of white spots I want to cover up. Okay, I'm going to do more water, going lighter and lighter. Seems like this one's lighter than this one, right? So I might have to go over this one again. Okay. Up on the top especially, it looks like 3 different values. It gets a little muddy down there, but maybe I'll let this dry and go over it again. Alright, I'm going to add more water and do the next section of mountain. Okay, more water, next section of mountain. Okay, some more water, next section of mountain. Alright, and then there's the mountains in the background, so I'm going to add a bunch more water. I'll pour out some of my mixture in another container. So I'm going to add a lot of water. Make it lighter. So I'm going to start on the right side, which is drier. Okay, so this feels like it's getting lighter slightly, but I'm gonna let this dry and touch it up a little bit because I want this to be darker. I just want the steps to be more obvious, the steps between values. So let's let that dry and come back to it. Okay, my picture's dry, ready for me to keep working on it. So this needs to be darker. The closest area needs to be darker for sure. But I'll wait on that because I want to work my way up from light to dark. So this is the most lightest. This is a little bit darker. That works. This is it is a little bit darker than that. I feel like that could get pushed a little bit more to make it more obvious. So I'm gonna start there. Let me test out my mixture that I have. So yeah, so this has a very light mixture at this point. And if I need to add any more ink to make it darker, I should definitely dump out some water, but I'm gonna leave it because it's full of the water mixture with a tiny bit of ink. So if I need to add more ink, I'll dump out some of the water. But I'm gonna try just going over what I have to make this just a wee bit darker. And now it seems good. Light, not as light, not as light. Okay, so the next one I have to go darker. So I will dump out some of my water. Or a lot of my water. And put some ink in here. That works good, but I'm gonna have to keep going darker. Okay, so these values seem distinct, and this one needs to be darker, so I'm gonna dump out some more of my liquid into a different jar. Yeah. Add some more ink. To this mixture. Okay, I like that. That seems like it's steps up in value. But these last two values are not dark enough. So I'm gonna go step darker, dump out some more water mixture. And add more ink. The last one's gonna be straight ink. This is the last time I'm using the water mixture. All right, and now for the pure ink. Put away my water mixture, and I'll grab this dry lid that I haven't used with water yet. Put some ink in there. I also don't want water in my brush, so I'm gonna dry out my brush with a piece of paper towel. Squeeze on it. starting on the left side where it's drier. Okay. Yeah, a little ambiguous in that area, but in general, this is what I want. I want to see these areas as separate values. This is really light, gets a slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker. That all makes sense visually as far as getting darker and darker as it gets closer for atmospheric perspective. That is the way things are in reality. When you look at mountains in the distance, they get lighter in value, and also the colors become less saturated. So this is a value study, but also a perspective study of sorts. Atmospheric perspective. We're showing how to make one way to make things look farther away is to make them lighter in value, or lower the saturation. Another way is size. So we did perspective by making the fence posts get smaller and getting the spacing between them closer together. All right, have fun with it.